English translation 889th contact. Wednesday, the 5th of June, 2024, 8:49 hours.
Although I know and am used to your manner of appearance, I was almost startled to see you here all of a sudden. But nevertheless, be greeted and welcome. I was actually expecting you to come here yesterday because I was discharged from hospital early.
Greetings also, dear friend. Unfortunately, I was absent yesterday and therefore did not realize that you were able to leave the hospital and go home.
The senior doctor thought it was a good thing. And besides, it was a good thing because it was extremely difficult for us to see and speak to each other, which is why we were only able to meet briefly in the toilet. Unfortunately, it was really only a short time because the small room was often used by patients, and unfortunately, it was also the case that it was not possible to meet in the hospital room, because the small room with 4 beds almost next to each other was occupied by patients. So it was not possible for you to appear in this room. When we met in the lavatory, however, it was enough for you to tell me what I had to telephone to the center to do a job that was not seen by Jacobus, and would therefore have caused damage if it had not been done immediately. This was then done by Pius and Patric together, although Patrick was on Sunday duty.
That was the case, yes. During the time you were in the clinic, I also had to pay particular attention to what was happening in the center, so I also saw the damage caused by the tree being pulled back. I also saw the damage caused by the slippage of the local road, which meant that the road to the center had to be closed.
This is all the damage caused by the huge downpour the night before, among other things. But I should hurry over to the office now because I really have something to show you. So beam over and I will be right behind you, on foot of course. Yes, now I just have to switch on the computer quickly. Yes, here. These pictures have been sent to Bernadette. What do you think of that? For my part, I think that the ones I have taken so far are sufficient and should not be improved. There was also a question about whether these pictures were better than all the previous ones.
Regarding these new photos drawings for us contact persons, there should probably be enough of them and no more new drafts needed. Besides, more and more extensions and wanting to do better, etc., create errors that ultimately make every picture so bad. Errors that ultimately distort every picture so that it appears unreal. So please endeavor to ensure that no more new attempts of this kind are made.
Yes, Bernadette and I also think it is getting to be too much of a good thing.
That is also how I see it. But why I came here, now that you are back here and taking control of everything, which I am sure you will not let us stop you from doing, even if you remain convalescent for some time. We do not want to burden you any further. That is why we will stop meeting with you for 3 or 4 weeks so that you can fully recover and will not be tempted to retrieve our conversations and write them down, which would be a great burden for you in your recovery. Also, with regard to all the urgent work that needs to be done after the severe storm that has occurred and caused a lot of damage, you will not miss the opportunity to do what is necessary yourself on site.
Of course, it is just the way it is going to be, because there is no other way.
I realize that because your sense of responsibility will not allow for anything else. We all know that. And we also know that you have no consideration for your, as you say, battered state of health. That is why we will not be visiting you for the next 3 to 4 weeks, and will also let Ta know. Although he is still absent for a long time and far away in our federation, we have to inform him regularly about everything that is happening around you, with you and the center as well as the core group members, and regarding the worldwide members of the passive community. Unfortunately, not always only good and correct things, as we have found out over the last 3 years, which we have to report to the committee on an ongoing basis. For some time now, this committee has been dealing with all matters relating to non-compliance with what is specified and required, so that everything is handled and fulfilled in accordance with the rules as it should be, in order to ensure the continuity of the Figu Association. So it will be that in the near future the committee will have its say about us, who are in contact with you, and declare what is to be objected to, regulated and fulfilled, so that the course of all things can continue and be carried on into the future, as you have built it up, led it, and brought it to success. However, if these rules and behaviors, which you have already developed and successfully implemented with Svath, are violated, then the continued existence of the Figu Association cannot be guaranteed. The committee will decide on this in an advisory capacity and pass its word on this to you via us, which you should then write down, as this should also be formulated as a determining preliminary article and inserted into the statutes as the first article.
Aha, so then this and that has been determined.
Yes, and unfortunately unpleasant things that arise in various directions and also in various groupings of various states.
Rules, correct and proper behavior, fitting into orders, as well as following precepts, etc., are unfortunately not exactly the Earthling's strong point. Because all the high values of these necessities can only be learned and accepted by him when the understanding of their necessity is recognized. And this is something, however, that requires a lot of time, especially also attention, patience, and above all the willingness to do this, as well as the self-recognition that this is to be done, because the whole of the wrong itself is intrinsic.
It is simply remarkable how you can always put everything in a nutshell with just a few words. But now I want to leave, but I would like to say hello to you from Bermunda and Jana and Florina and give you their best wishes. Farewell, my friend, and see to it that your health is quickly restored, Edward, my friend.
I will see to it, I promise. Goodbye, Quetzal, my dear friend.